Hi, Roger. Congratulations on your 30th anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
As you know, your first day was my first day also at St. Timothy's. And over the years, you have been a phenomenal priest to me and a great friend.
And the best geriatric marriage counselor.
So again, congratulations. And too bad we couldn't be there today, but we'll see you in about a month.
Miss ya.
This is a very brief tribute to Roger. David and I have consistently attended St. Tim's for 31 years, 1 year longer than Roger. So I think I learned a couple of things about him worth passing along. The first thing is that Roger probably believes that the fruits of the Spirit listed in the New Testament should include having fun. And doesn't he do that so well? Eating a good meal, or watching sports featuring his favorite athletes, or making up songs for children's sermons based on Beatles melodies, or being a splendid camel for the yearly Christmas pageant, or making the whole staff laugh during meetings, or poking fun at himself. Who can resist his obvious pleasure in any of these everyday things? I know my own day is better after sharing any of these joys with him. The second thing is his wholehearted commitment to loving people, no exceptions. I am sure that many of us cherish private memories of times he filled us up when we most needed it. Sometimes his conviction about church being a place for loving the world transforms into an experience that we share as a group. For example, some years ago, he learned on a Sunday morning that a teen member of St. Tim's may have been kidnapped. Our usual service immediately became a place of prayer and ongoing news updates regarding the situation. Luckily, all turned out well, but I have never forgotten the lesson we learned about taking care of each other. Roger, we know that you aren't thinking about retiring yet, but the legacy of joy and love you have shared with us over all these years endures already. Thank you. And may we all share much more fun and genuine affection together.
My name is Moudine Fries, and I've been a member of St. Timothy's for over 60 years. I'm also a retired deacon in the Diocese of Southern Ohio, and I served at St. Timothy's for 15 years, both in the liturgical role of deacon, as well as a few years as the coordinator of pastoral care. I first met Roger because I was a member of the rector search committee which called him. We had received our first list of candidates and processed them, but were unable to agree on anyone from that list. So a year later, we started over with a new list. Roger was not on the first list, but he was on the second one. And I believe that one of the methods for a favorable rector search committee outcome is to follow a disciplined process and commit to seeing it through. And that's what we did. And certainly the hand of God was present in our lengthy process also. During the second search, we invited candidates first to come to St. Timothy's, and then we selected a couple who we would go visit. And from that group, we selected 2 potential rectors for St. Timothy's. So one spring weekend, Jan McLaughlin, who's now deceased to die, packed our bags and went to Boston to visit Roger and Nancy. We had a relaxing and an informative weekend, and it concluded by attending Trinity Church, Copley Square, to hear Roger preach on Sunday morning. We came back with a positive recommendation for Roger becoming our next rector. And those who visited the under candidate also came back with a positive recommendation for their candidate. After the search committee prayerfully reviewed both candidates' credentials, Roger received the call to become the rector of St. Timothy's. Roger has been the rector of this parish for 30 years, and that's what we're celebrating today. What a gift it is in this day and age to have a priest who has served a specific congregation for that long. The last figures I heard was that the average length of stay for a rector is about 7 years. I believe Roger has important qualities that allowed him to have this lengthy relationship with us, and I'd like to share those qualities with you today. Congregations change and evolve over the years. Long-term members die. People may be transferred for their work. Also, some people do become disenchanted with their current church and seek to leave. New individuals and families replace them. During my 60 years at St. Timothy's, I have experienced at least 3 of these waves of change. What I've observed about Roger is that he has the ability to adapt to these congregational changes and the gifts the new members bring. He challenges himself to see the new possibilities that are coming with these new people. Rather than getting discouraged by needing to revise previous programs and congregational direction, and maybe even deciding to leave the parish for a newer and seemingly greener pastures, Roger takes what God is giving St. Timothy's at a particular point in time and challenges himself to adapt and find new possibilities rather than just leave the situation for a newer one. The gift to stick around and work things out can be a rarity in our day and age. If you have hung around in monasteries and convents in your lifetime, you soon learn that there are vows that people who decide to dedicate themselves to the monastic way of life take. Some are familiar to us, such as celibacy, poverty, and obedience. Another important one is stability. I'd like to share something that St. Anselm of Canterbury wrote, who was a monk, and he has this to say about stability. If any young tree is frequently transplanted, or often disturbed by being torn up and then being transplanted to another place, it will likely end up as a plant that will never be able to root. It will rapidly wither and bring not fruit to perfection. Similarly, an unhappy monk, if he moves from place to place at his own whim, or remains in one place that's frequently agitated by his hatred of it, he never achieves stability with roots of love. He grows weary and does not grow rich in the fruitfulness of good works. Therefore, anyone taking the monastic life should strive to, with total application of his mind, to set down roots of love in whatever community he has made his profession. Let him rejoice at having last found where he can stay, and not unwillingly, but voluntarily stay, for the rest of his life, having put away all anxiety about moving from one place to another. St. Anselm also says that stability comes when there are roots of love, love not being a mere sentiment, but active and self-giving. But love of this sort needs training and discipline, and it needs an environment where our fine sentiments and good intentions are put to the test. They are only proven true when we practice stability and our intentions are tested by both the joy and trials of living in community with imperfect people. Remaining in one place with a particular group makes us put our money where our mouth is. It is easy without real commitment to a community to float around with illusions of possibilities and opportunities that are open to us elsewhere. Somewhere over the rainbow, there's an illusory pot of gold where things are more perfect. When we're in one place, our false self and flaws are revealed to us, and our vulnerabilities and weakness rise up to the light. When I think of Roger, I almost always is followed by a deep appreciation for his commitment to stability. He has chosen to stay with this community through its ups and downs, through joys and disagreements, in sickness and in health, in times of prosperity and need. He has chosen to stay and love us, whether we are demonstrating love and care for each other or whether we have become disagreeable and impatient with our companions on the journey. The capacity to stay in one place, love the people who pass through the community through both good and trying times, and keep your interest and enthusiasm by embracing the challenges and the changes that living in community requires. This has been Roger's gift to us. Thank you, Roger, for sticking with us through thick and thin.
Okay.
Hi, Roger.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for the
the-
memories. Wow, 30 plus years. Where did it go? We miss so much of all kinds of things at St. Tim's. And a lot too we do miss is the wonderful music, and especially the special songs that would come out every now and then on the children's sermons. A lot of the songs were familiar mostly to some of us, but we had such fun with it. And then when you would ask the congregation to sing along, even Andy would sing along to the songs from the kids' sermon. We loved that. You called me one time. We had hardly known each other at all, and you called on me to check on the results of a biopsy I had done, which, as it turns out, was perfectly fine. But you and Nancy were on vacation. We hardly knew you at all, and yet you took the time from your vacation to call me, and that has just stuck with me and been so meaningful. Being part of so many committees, the vestry, going to so many classes, parties, work details, cleaning and painting, raking and whatever, all of it really is embedded in our hearts, and it's what makes St. Tim's a family and so special. And you are the one that encouraged that feeling of family in the atmosphere at St. Timothy's. And our kids, though they were in college by the time you came, they both remember you. And Jenny, as you know, became an attorney and did legal aid for years and years and years. And Charlie, for some reason, and your wife Nancy had this thing about Taco Bell. I don't even like Taco Bell, but they did. And we can't quite figure out why, but they liked the food there. We just wanted to put our 2 cents worth in to celebrate 30 years of wonderful pastoral care at St. Tim's.
Yeah. Yes, we miss so much, and so much that you helped to make St. Tim's a home, a different kind of home, because the usual home doesn't have sermons, and yours were particularly interesting and topic related, and also the men's group for all those years, the sharing time among the men, not on a particular topic, just this week's events.
And he's carrying that on now at Trinity in the men's group again. And I'm in the choir and various things. But the point of all of this is to say, wow, we are so glad that you came to St. Tim's and that you're still there. So we send our love and best wishes to you and your family. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings, everyone at St. Timothy's, Cincinnati. In case you all forgot, my name is Alex Martin. I am the rector of St. Barnabas Church in Bay Village, Ohio. It's a small town lakefront suburb on the west side of Cleveland. And I served at St. Tim's from 2013 to 2018. Really good to be with all of you today to celebrate and give thanks for 30 years of shared ministry with Roger Green. You know, when I worked for the guy, I thought he was old then, and so he must be absolutely ancient now. I wish I could be where you all are in person, but I've got a pretty consistent Sunday gig that I have a hard time getting out of. But I'm going to start off by confessing something, and that is that when I first graduated from seminary and was being placed in a congregation by the bishop, I actually asked him to not send me to Cincinnati, Nothing against the place. It's just that my family is all in Cleveland. And so I thought Columbus made a lot of sense because then I'd be a little closer. And the person on the bishop's staff who was responsible for placements also happened to be a family friend. And she went and found my parents at my ordination, and before the service pulled them aside and said, "Don't you worry about Alex. We put him with the best priest in the diocese." And I think that's absolutely true. Seminary was great, didn't learn squat, and so it was really Roger Green who taught me how to be a priest. I have this distinct memory of sitting in my office my first week at St. Tim's. You're feeling good, feel like you made it, you graduated, you've been ordained, you moved into your fancy office, and I remember sitting around thinking, holy cow, what do I do now? And so it truly was Roger who helped shape and form me into the priest that I am today. And so I'm extremely grateful for him. And to that end, I want to give you a short list of things that I learned from Roger Green that I put together. So I've got a few things written down I want to share. And one of the first things I learned from Roger is he says that hiring staff, it's all about chemistry. Obviously you have to have a basic set of competencies to do the job, but at the end of the day, what you really want is someone that you love spending time with and someone you can have fun with. And I had a great 5 years at St. Tim's, being with all of you and hanging out and spending time with Roger and having fun together was a big part of that. And so really grateful for a boss who was playful and fun. Roger Green also taught me that showing up is 90% of the job. I still quote him on that on a regular basis, because when I'm walking into a hospital room where someone's dying and I have no idea what to do or say, I take some comfort remembering that simply being there, being with people and supporting them is 90% of it. It's what it's all about. Roger Green also said, if people know you love them, you can get away with a lot. I quote him on that too. If people know that you love them, you can get away with a lot. People will tolerate you being annoying, or tolerate you asking for money, or tolerate being pushed, challenged a bit in sermons. I think it's absolutely true, which leads me to my final one, is that all you need is love. Roger Green pushes that in a big way, and that has informed the way I view the world, and he's absolutely right. It's fun to sit around and debate theology or liturgy or whatever, but at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is love. And Roger embodies that. Roger shows us that every day. And so I'm really grateful to him. I'm grateful to all of you. I wish that I could be there with you, but want to send this along to send greetings, my congratulations on 30 years. Wish you all blessings in your continued ministry together. God bless you.